Just wait for a few more people to jump on so they can see that we're live. If anyone has been following along, we have been going live pretty consistently for, the last, I'd say, 2 or 3 months. So it's been good. We've been getting really good feedback. People tuning in, checking out what we're doing, talking to our guests. This week there'll be no guest. We're just going to roll me one out. So tonight will just be, just me having a yarn, giving people updates on what we're doing. Hey, how you going, Essential Oils? How you going, bro? Hey, Ornella. Hey, Shane. Yeah, really appreciate everyone sort of tuning in and checking out what we're doing. So we're going live off our Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. So yeah, it's been good. We've been getting a lot of good feedback, as I said earlier. If you are following on all of our social medias, you might have seen that we have a pretty a few exciting upcoming events. So tomorrow night I'm speaking at a conference. It's called the Vulnerable Persons Conference, and it is held by the University of Southern Queensland, known as UniSQ. They used to be called University of Southern Queensland, but since I changed universities, they changed their name to UniSQ. They're actually a really cool university, and why I think they're cool is they actually run university programs for people who are in jail. So say for example you're in jail and you want to try and get an education, there's not many ways to do that. I think you can do TAFE, and there's only sort of maybe one that I know of, UniSQ. They support guys to do their tertiary preparation, which is like a bridging course. It's free to every Australian. I done that course, not when I was in jail, when I got out, but one of my mates, he's just kicked it off this week, actually Monday, which is pretty cool for him. But yeah, so that university, they do amazing stuff, and they have a really cool criminology sort of crew there. There's a lady named Suzanne Reich who is the head criminologist there, and she also holds a podcast. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. I think it's I Am Not My Crime. Yeah, I Am Not My Crime podcast. Suzanne Reich, she's an amazing lady. So she's helped to set up this whole event, the Vulnerable Persons Conference, and it's around youth justice. So it's gonna be pretty good. There's a couple of speakers on. There's one from the JRI, Justice Reform Initiative. They're a really good organisation trying to get certain justice around the prison systems and trying to bring that recidivism rate down. Another one of my mates who's been to prison, he's finished studying law. So me and Richard are speaking. So I'm pretty excited for that. Should be a really good night. There's meant to be 50 plus people there, so it's the biggest event that I've ever spoke at. I'm pretty nervous. I think we're going to be live streaming it too, so if you don't see the live stream, you will still be able to watch this edited version. It won't be live, but we're going to put it on our YouTube. So yeah, that'll be really cool. Really looking forward to that. It's a couple hour drive out to Toowoomba. So yeah, that's going to be good. So anybody who sort of hasn't seen the work that we do at About Time for Justice, it's your first time tuning in, we help people that have been through institutional child abuse to seek justice, start healing, and possible compensation. So I went through an institution when I was younger, and I had suffered abuse when I was in that institution. Sort of led me down a long path of destruction, fucking up in and out of the system, involved in gangs, drugs, alcohol, self-destructive sort of path for a long time, for I don't know 8 to 10 years. But I pulled my head in, I don't know, about 5 years ago. Started working full time, started studying. So I first started studying at UniSQ, got that job, helping survivors. Then me and Dad started our own organisation, About Time for Justice, just over 2.5 years ago. So we work heavily in the prison systems and in the communities all around Australia. So it's really exciting. Some of the places that I've travelled to since I've been doing this work is all the way down to cold old Tassie, all the way over to Broome in WA, up to Northern Territory, into the middle of Australia, Alice Springs. So we work in most prisons all around Australia, but we also work, in community, in remote communities too. Some of the remote First Nations communities that I've been to, had some really good times out there, met some amazing people, got to listen to some cool stories, also unfortunately heard some really sad ones. But some of them places, so I feel so blessed to be able to go there. In Queensland, I've been to Warrabinda, Palm Island, Cherbourg. Down New South Wales, been to Burke, Brewarrina, Walgett. So this work has taken me all over Australia, from sitting in a jail cell 8.5 years ago, looking at 22.5 years, 20 years on the bottom, made to wear pink, no TV in the cell, to, tomorrow night I get to speak at a conference in front of a variety of different people, university people, lived experience people. So I'm pretty excited for that. I'm really excited for it. I'm pretty scared, but it's going to be good. That's sort of my journey, what got me to the conference tomorrow night. There's a lot in between, and if you haven't heard and you want to listen to my full story, you can jump on our podcast. It's in our link tree, so if you click on that link on our social media, you should be able to access our link tree. Also in that link tree is another link for the Daniel Morcombe Foundation. So if you're not familiar with the Daniel Morcombe Foundation, they are a organisation that was set up by parents of a young kid who was taken on the Sunshine Coast by a piece of shit, and he was killed, and never to come home, never come back to his parents. And his parents are they are raising funds, but they have been for a very long time, to roll out their programs in schools and communities. Earlier this year we went to the Daniel Morcombe Dance for Daniel night, and when we were there, there was at least 5 to 10 speakers that night, and every single person that got up spoke about the good work that they're doing, and not only the good work, but about their kids at school. When their kids come home from school and say, hey, the Daniel Morcombe Foundation's been at our school, and they were teaching us about, stranger danger. They also, they do a lot of other programs too, but for me, it's that, raising that awareness for this organisation. So I'm running a marathon, Gold Coast Marathon, July 2nd. So if anyone wants to donate and chip in, I would really appreciate it, and it would really help the Daniel Morcombe Foundation to spread their wings and get that important message out there. So I think it's around 42 kilometres. I've been grinding the kilometres out every week. Done 41 kilometres last week. That was over the week, not all at once, but I done a half marathon. I thought my legs were going to be a bit better than what they were, but I was pretty sore and sad afterwards. But I've just been turning up every single day, and well, not every day, but most days, putting them Ks in. So it'd be really cool if you could jump on and support that great cause. And if you can't do that, you can also just jump on their social media, give them a follow. And that'd be really cool. Hey Narelle, thank you for that. I really appreciate that. Love for you to jump on our other social medias, mate, and give us a follow. So it's got a few comments there. I'll just keep checking in on people who, if they're dropping in or want to ask any questions during the live, just please, ask any questions you want. That'd be excellent. On Friday night, after I speak, so I'll speak tomorrow night, Thursday night, but Friday night, I'm going to an event in Brisbane. I think it's at the convention centre, to watch a warrior tell her story and talk. That warrior is Grace Tamer, so I'm very excited to get up, see her talk. She was Australian of the Year. If you're not familiar with who she is, you should follow her on social media. She was sexually abused in her school, so she's a survivor of institutional abuse. I think it was last year or the year before. I'm pretty sure last year she was the Australian of the Year winner, and she has a foundation now as well. So they're doing some really good work. She's going around the country speaking at all these different events, raising awareness. So yeah, I'm really excited to go and see her. So I look up to her for what she's done for survivors, and just how much of a powerful advocate she is. So she does really good work. So I'm really excited to go see her. So it's going to be a really good time. We've also got our new website that's dropping soon. So in the next sort of little while, our website's going to be up and running. We're going to have blog sections on there, vlog sections. So, written content, just about, all different sorts of stuff. Video content. We're going to have books on there. Yesterday we done a podcast with Glenn Fisher. So one of Glenn Fisher's followers, Narelle, jumped on before and said hello. I think his name on TikTok and Insta is Tigers for Life. Puts out some really good content, and if you're not on his page, you should really jump on and jump onto his page. So he also has a group as well. I believe it's called Predators Paradise, which is around his book. So yeah, he's doing some amazing advocacy in New South Wales. He's actually speaking to a politician on, I think, the 17th or 16th to try and get some numbers together down in Sydney to, just notify her that he wants to do sort of a bit of a awareness and a bit of a meet up with all survivors to talk about their stuff. And so that's an exciting event for him. I have definitely would encourage people to jump on and see what he does. He's pretty loud and proud, and he puts out some pretty good stuff, and his book's amazing. He's got an amazing story. I can't wait for people to drop, for the podcast to drop, so you can listen to Glenn's story. We have done a live stream before, so if you go back through our stuff, you should be able to see it. He has a really cool story. He grew up in King's Cross as a street kid. He went through multiple institutions, suffered a lot of abuse, been to jail, drug and alcohol addictions. He's turned his life around now, and he's helping to support and advocate, and he's a really, really cool fella. I think people get a lot of value from following him. He puts out some funny TikTok dancing videos too. He's pretty funny, actually. So as I said a little bit earlier, if you just tuned in, I visited a mate of mine on the weekend who's doing the TPP, the tertiary preparation, which is what I done, but he's doing it while he's in jail. So UniSQ is one of the only universities that helps people do their university stuff while they're in prison. So I think he got a laptop. He said something about he can only go onto that sort of, I don't know if he has access to the actual internet or it's just the windows that look like the internet, but he can basically log on to the TPP UniSQ sort of study book. I think that's what they call it. I can't remember what they call it. And you can sort of jump on there and it's pretty cool actually. So I've encouraged him to get studying since he's been in there. He's about a year into about 4 or 5 years on the bottom. So But yeah, I went and visited him on Sunday, and it was a little bit daunting going into that jail, smelling that smell, seeing the screws. I recognised one of the screws that when I was there. I remember her. But yeah, I seen her. I went into that visiting room where 8 years or so ago now I visited because I was being visited, so I come in from the jail. But yeah, things have changed there. There's no buy up. Oh, sorry. There's no like machines for chips, lollies, drinks. There's no water fountains. You can't go to the toilet. Your kids aren't allowed out in the play area. I don't even think there is a play area, and you're not even allowed outside. So it's pretty rough conditions, Especially if you got a little bub or something like that, and kids just running amok. You're not allowed to touch each other. You have to sit across the table from each other. It's a lot stricter than when I was there. Everyone's still wearing face masks, so it was pretty full on actually. My mate's doing good. He's been training up. He's put on a lot of weight. He's looking tan and sexy and fit. But he's doing good. He's doing really good. He's been training, doing that positive stuff. Started studying this week, so always there to have a yarn with him. And sometimes when he calls, I might be battling through my day. I might be having them voices in my head. I might be going through whatever I'm going through, and it's sort of pulls me back into line when I speak to him and a lot of the other people that we help, because it reminds me of where I could be. 8.5 years ago I was looking at 20 plus years in prison, sitting in my cell, getting fed through my cell door, writing letters to my dad from jail. He was in jail serving a 16.5 years prison sentence, so it made me ask questions. Back then, this is how my life's going to be. So it's a constant reminder every single day when I'm speaking to my bros in jail, helping the guys out that are still in jail. Someone asked how old my mate is. He's only pretty young, so by the time he gets out, he's still going to have plenty of life to live. So I believe in him, and I think he'll do good. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what happens with him, and once he's finished his TPP, I think he's pretty smart, so I think he wants to get into something. I think there's only about 2 or 3 different options you can get into the bachelor's of. I've got a really nice lady here, Grammatica, Brisbane. She's second time she's reached out, so thank you for that. She'd let me know if he needs help, support with his study. If I can help, I will. I think it's really hard for people to offer that support, because the jails, it's really hard. You can't just sort of just walk into the prisons and give you support. But what I can do is, after this, Grammatica, I will send you his details, so you could write him a letter and just let him know who you are, what you want to do, and let him know how you can support. I think he'd appreciate that. I think he would, yeah. So that's really nice of you to say that. Yeah. So we've got some other exciting stuff coming up as well. On top of the new website, we're really going to start putting out our podcast. I think we're about 4 episodes into recording, so I think we have a due date of the 19th of this month. So we're hoping to do a drop every week or every 2 weeks, along with YouTube videos with them. So we're hoping to build up to that. We really are. So we'll see how we go. We're going to try and get consistent. So we'll be doing these lives every week. Every second week we'll be having a guest, and every week or 2 we'll be dropping a new podcast. So that's it's really exciting. So for anyone, if this is your first time joining, or you've just joined the live, we're going live on TikTok, Insta, Facebook, YouTube. If you're not following us on these platforms, it'd be really cool if you could follow us. Smash that like button. The way that people always hear about us is through our word of mouth, from our community of people that follow what we do and share, what we do. So, you can actually, if you're on Facebook, you can actually share this straight into a group. So there's lots of different groups around, there might be jail groups, or, mental health groups, or, support groups for drug and alcohol addictions. Anyone that wants to share into any groups that they think might be relevant to, the work that we do, that would be really cool. We also have done a lot of work with the First Nations communities. So some of them names that I've said before, I've been out to some communities outside of them in the middle of Australia, out in Alice Springs. So we've done a lot of work down there with Stolen Generation Mob. Also, we work with Stolen Generation in New South Wales. Some really sad stories out there, and within them large institutions, generally the church-run institutions, there was a lot of abuse in some of them communities out there. It's very sad to see, very sad to hear the sad stories, and what the fellas have been through. I went to a couple of jail visits in Northern Territory, Alice Springs prison, Darwin prison. So they were eye openers. They were actually really strict there too. The guys there were wearing overalls. No, I think they might have had water, but there was no cans of drinks or chips. None of them sort of machines, so you can make them visits a little bit easier. It's pretty hard when you're sitting in them putrid visits, with your family, just sitting around, and it makes it very hard. But yeah, we're pretty keen to get all of our podcast and YouTube stuff going. So if you do know anyone who might want to jump on and have a yarn, be on the show, be a guest, we're more than open and happy to speak to anyone who might have a story, about going through the prison systems, about being a survivor, going through drug and alcohol addictions, going through mental health stuff, any of that sort of stuff. We're really keen to have anyone join in, jump on. If anyone's got any questions or anything like that, love to hear from you. We've got a few questions here. Someone from Eric Peterson. I'm here in Kempsey, mate, so I know what you're talking about. Yeah, you're from Kempsey, are you? Yeah, I spent a bit of time down in Kempsey. My dad done a lot of time down there, in Kempsey jail. So I spent a lot of years visiting my dad in that prison down there. Oh yeah, you got a hell of a yarn. Yeah, no worries, brother. Yeah, we'll reach out on the inbox, Eric Peterson. We can definitely have a yarn with you, see if you want to jump on and tell us what you've been through. How long have you lived in Kempsey for? If anyone else has any questions on TikTok, Insta, Facebook, you just want to ask any questions, that'd be really cool. Oh, Monique has your number. Okay, no worries. Been there 20 years. Yeah, no worries, brother. Yeah, it's nice down there. I had a friend who lived very close to the jail, so we used to stay with her a lot. She lived in Fredericton, I think. They got that pie shop down there. They got like all the different pies and that. Crocodile pies, emu pies, Freddo pie shop. You know it? Yeah, when we first started going down there, they didn't have the bypass, but then sort of went straight through my mate's place down that bypass. Basically, yeah, right through his property, actually. Yeah, okay. You've been there nearly 20 years, alright. Yeah. You're going to do some anger management, mate. That's good. I've done a lot of anger management. You got some heartburn from the pies, did you? As Jen just asked the question, how did you feel about visiting your friend? Did you get flashbacks or did you have some self care? Yeah, no, it was pretty shit going in there. It was definitely even worse when I seen that screw. I remember her. Don't have anything nice to say about her. Um, but yeah, it was definitely hard. And actually, the very last time I went to visit at Woodford Correctional Centre, I got charged with assault corrections officer. So I only got out of jail about 4 years before that, and I went to go visit one of the guys that I was locked up with. We were in the gang unit in the at Woodford, and yeah, I got out. He stayed in because he had a 4 on the bottom, and I only done I think 6 months on that lag, and yeah, basically I went to go back and visit him. I think I'm pretty sure I was off parole, but when I got to the jail, all the screws recognised me, and yeah, I went in, and I can't remember exactly what happened, but I think they were just being cheeky, and I was like, fucking punch it, I'm out of here. I can't be bothered to put up with this, I'm just going. Anyway, so I went, and I got to like the main sort of reception where you first check in, and they all started like coming towards me. It was between about 5 and 8, somewhere 6 and 8, and they all sort of attacked me, but I had my hands in the air, and I got taken from Woodford Correctional Centre in the back of a paddy wagon to Caboolture cop shop, and they charged me with assault corrections officer. Now, I don't think I was on parole at that time, otherwise I would have been locked back up. I think I was off parole, and then they put me on bail. But yeah, I went to Caboolture Magistrates Court, I'm pretty sure it was, and I went on trial, and all of the screws come in and told lies. The charges got thrown out, and I got found not guilty, and they were made to pay costs. I actually recently received the video footage of that. It was at my dad's place, and I picked it up. So I don't have a CD disc on my laptop, but I wanna see it because I remember it was fucking funny. Yeah, so. But yeah, Eric, mate, if you reach out to Monique, we might be able to have you on. Yep. So Monique knows got your number and stuff. That's excellent. Sounds like we could have you on for sure. Eric, does anyone else have any other questions they want to ask? No. Oh yeah, yep. Someone asked me the other day, what is a muster? Hey Tom, how you going, mate? So a muster is like when you're in jail. It's like you can say it's like a roll call. So like maybe 5 or 6 times a day they go. You got everyone in the unit. There might be a 50-man unit. Top tier, bottom tier. You got to stand in front of your cell door, and they come around with like a little deck of cards. It's like your ID jail card, and they check that you're the right person. Each person. So that happens plenty of times a day. Hey Glenn, how you going, brother? I was just talking about you. Good ways. Telling everyone to give you a follow. Let them know about the podcast and your thing that you're trying to put together on the 16th. We're going to have the meeting on the 16th to put it together. So I'm really going to be letting people know what his movements are for survivors to get down there and support what Glenn's going to do, his movement. So yeah, that'll be really cool. Yeah, Glenn goes for the Tigers. I'll go for Newcastle Knights. And when we done our podcast the other day, I had my Newcastle Knights gear on. He was giving it to me. But yeah, pretty funny. Yeah, so yeah, just again, everyone, when our new website drops, Glenn's book will actually be listed on our website, Predator's Paradise. So if anyone does want to jump on and have a look at it, there'll be a link to it. But even in the meantime, I highly recommend reading his book. Like, he has an amazing story, and I think anyone who sort of is interested in anything that I've spoken about tonight, you would like his story. But yeah, I just wanted to put that last message out there for anyone who's a survivor and they're wanting to reach out and speak to somebody from our team. It's that first port of call is, hit us up on social media, give us a call on our mobile number, go onto our website. There's no silly questions. If you think that's a silly question, don't think that, because there is no silly questions. Abuse is abuse, and it shouldn't have happened. You're just a kid. But that's it from us tonight about Time for Justice. So yeah, love for you guys to be following all of our social medias. Please tune in tomorrow night. We're going to hopefully be going live to watch my conference talk. If you guys could also jump onto the Daniel Morcombe Foundation link and donate if you can. If you can't, that's okay too.